Hello everyone, I am back with another Kmart location tour. Today, it's located in Gas City, Indiana, and this store is actually set to close in October of this year, so just in a few more months this store will be gone. They're in their early stages of liquidating right now, so actually, right away, I just want to mention this ink cartridge. I was actually planning on buying an ink cartridge. You see the price there, $16.99. At Meijer, that price for that same thing is $11. So, needless to say, Kmart failed again at prices. And even with the little discount that they have going on right now, it would have still been several dollars more. So, once again, an example of Kmart just not being competitive with prices. So anyway, so I continued through the store. Basically on this video, I did the same thing as I did in the Michigan Kmart. I put the phone on the cart and just kind of walked through. Now it was a little more difficult this time because the store was actually pretty crowded. There were a lot of people there because liquidation. That's really the only way to get people in the stores anymore is liquidating. So basically I just walked through and I just wanted to see what was left, and they still had quite a few things left because this is the early stages. It's right now stuff really isn't discounted too much. The most I saw was 25% on a few things, but for the most part it was about 10 to 20%. You see oil here, 10%. You know, the average person is not gonna run into Kmart to save 40 cents on an oil. But anyway, so I just wanted to kind of go over the whole liquidation process for anyone that doesn't know, because, you know, being that I went through that whole process when I worked there, not at this location, but when I worked at Kmart several years ago. My store did liquidate and close, and you know, I don't think people realize how much work goes into liquidating. I did more physical work during that liquidation process than I did in all the years that I worked there, because it is a very strenuous, frustrating, stressful time. Basically, when a store goes into liquidation, they are no longer considered a company corporate store anymore. It is the store basically becomes an outlet. So what happens is you don't get any more trucks full of merchandise. You will get tons of trucks though of other stores' junk that they can't sell, like clearance junk and just stuff that has been sitting in their store for years. They start all going to the stores that are liquidating because they know that there's going to be a ton of customers in there, and that's their big chance to get rid of it, because at the end of the whole process, whatever does not sell, that's what ends up going to places like Marshall's, Burlington Coat Factory, all those places, the outlet stores. So anyway, so I'm out in the garden. I just wanted to also, coming up here, I right away I noticed this register area, how filthy it was. It was so dirty. Look at all this trash just everywhere. I mean, it looks like they dumped some things there, like dirt. There were just fixtures everywhere, garbage. And as you go around to the front, assuming that if you were to walk in these doors, which they were actually shut and locked and chained, this is what you would see. This is garbage. That's just awful. This is Kmart. The current state of Kmart in a nutshell. It is just trashed. And that's what makes Kmart so unappealing to so many people, is it's just trashed. But anyway, about the liquidation. Basically, the whole strategy of liquidating, once the store does start that process, they bring in a third-party liquidation company. And there's usually one person, the liquidator. That's what we always referred to the guy as, or girl, whichever the case is. they take over the store, and the managers of the store, they're no longer in control. So you have basically the liquidator. Their job is to sell every last item in that store, including fixtures, everything, because they actually end up getting a commission off of those sales. So they want to sell every single item, and they want to hold out on those really low discounts as long as they can, because they have that deadline of closing, which in this case is October, and they have to kind of coordinate those prices and merchandise, inventory, everything based on that closure date. So they want to hold out as long as they can, and they know as soon as they announce they're liquidating, all these people are going to start coming in to shop, because in people's minds, liquidation means big sale and big savings, but it really isn't. 10% off of something is absolutely nothing. And the funny thing is, most of these big sales, the 10%, 20%, if these people would have just went in the store maybe a week sooner before the liquidation started, they could have gotten the same item for maybe 40% off, or 30, or even 50, because Kmart's weekly sales are so much better than the liquidation sale. So, my liquidator at my store, he just openly referred to these liquidation sales as sucker sales. People actually, he called them suckers. I mean, and that's really what it is. People are just, they think of a liquidation as being such a huge thing, and it really isn't. So as I'm walking through, I noticed they have a long way to go. I mean, and of course it just started, but they have a lot of stuff left. So here's the layaway, and I just wanted to get one last shot of layaway before it's gone. And I did, yeah, there's the sign. But right beside layaway are these kayaks, and it was kind of funny. Every store kind of has a regional thing that they may have that others don't. I don't know why this store has kayaks. It is literally in the middle of a cornfield. Now, I don't know if there's like a river nearby or what, but I don't think people are going to be buying kayaks at this store. And obviously they weren't, because they were all stacked up there. But I kind of headed back to electronics again, because I didn't really get a look around in there too much, and they still have a lot of TVs left. And again, here's the movies. There's those Reba DVDs again, like they were in Marshall, Michigan. I do want to point out, though, if you go to any Kmart, you're going to see the same exact movies. All these cheap throwaway movies that they have, those are all Sony movies. They're from Sony Pictures, because Kmart has a contract with Sony, so they get all their DVDs like that. But here I'm going back to the restroom. I actually had to go to the restroom really bad, so I thought I'd run back there, and it was a really odd setup. There's the break room, which I don't know why you'd want back there. I actually went into the restroom, and I actually had to leave because it smelled like an open sewer back there. It smelled so bad. I would not want to take my break back by the restroom, because it smelled like sewage. But at this point, I'm on my way out, and there were a lot of people up front working, and they were actually hiring. This is the outdoor garden area. It was kind of odd. I don't know if that was the actual garden area, though, because it was so narrow. I don't know how they could actually fit plants and stuff out there. I think it was just for storage. I didn't actually see any outdoor area, so I don't know if they ever had one. But this is the loading area. This is the back of the store. And I just wanted to point out, this is what surrounds this building. Cornfields and a McDonald's. The only competition around is just what you see here. A little Family Dollar and a grocery. So it's no wonder this store has lasted as long as it has, because there were no competition. But I want to thank everyone for watching, and I hope everyone has a great week and a great day, and thanks again.